Hey y'all, hey, hi, howdy, hello, and how in the hell are you? It is Thursday, and y'all know what that means. It's time for Thursday's Live. With your mans in them. Um, First, let me apologize for not being able to bring y'all my regular Wednesday deep dive. Well, for two reasons, actually. Number one, I was not able to bring y'all the deep dive yesterday because my wife had a Christmas party and we went to the Christmas party and it was all right. I mean, it had some funny moments, put it like that. Had me a nice cut of filet mignon. On them. So that's always a win when somebody go buy you um uh 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 a steakity steak, you know. Um and my LCS, they have been behind as far as their shipments and stuff. They haven't been getting their comics on time, so it was a combination of not having any comics to do a deep dive on, and not I wasn't really wanting to do the usual stuff. Y'all know what I mean. Go dig in the archive. I mean, I could have dug in the archives and brought you something, but then again, I wasn't here because, again, Christmas party. So there are a couple of things I want to talk about tonight. Some of them are comic related. Some of them are movie related. And some are just social issues. Social issues that I feel like we could discuss in this forum because y'all are the Rock With Me Nation and rock with me. So hearing what I need to say ain't gonna be no big deal for y'all. Let me see who's in. Grand Madam, as always, is in the building. Hello, Grand Madam. Again, love that picture. It exudes joyful energy. I like that. Ronnie J in the building. What's up, sir? And he give a shout out to the Rock With Me Nation. My man Anansi is in the building. What up, Anansi? And of course, my brother Theo B is in the building tonight. And three more people that are a little bashful. But that's okay. No pressure. Want to lead off with a quick visual question, like I always do. Question: is that happening? I mean, I know people like to put things on social media, but let's be honest. Is that happening? Even with 4 Supermen or 3, however they did it, is that happening? I mean, why couldn't 4 Supermen beat the daylight out of Darkseid? Because they're not really beating the daylights out of Darkseid. They're beating the daylights out of Darkseid's avatar. What does that mean, D-Real? We are not 100% sure what you're saying. Okay. The Darkseid you see whooped up and handled in this rendering. The Darkseid you always see Superman going toe-to-toe with and being hard pressed to not hold back is only an aspect of dark side. Did we know that? If dark side, as we've been learning in comics in recent years, if dark side were to manifest himself fully in the material world, he could manifest himself omnipresently, so that he's omnipresently destroying everything at the same time. What answer y'all got for that? So while these four mighty men might be able to take down one aspect of dark side, they ain't about to be dark side ready to bang at full power. Make sense? Yes? No? Maybe? Tell me what you think. Be interactive, Rock With Me Nation. Holla at your boy. Let me know. I mean, I see Theo said we in here, but let me hear from you. Let me hear. If you in here, holla back. Tell your mans and them how you feeling about this Superman Rat Pack in a dark side aspect. How y'all, while it is doable, but is it like that? Like that? Just completely punked? Now, especially not reading DCKO. Y'all, not a fully powered dark side. You could probably do that to one of Darkseid's avatars, but you're not doing that to Darkseid himself. And I am going to sip my tea on that one. It's tasty. Hot tea, nothing like it. Ronnie J say he don't think it's ever happened. No. Well, let me give you context. This is an image rendered outside of the auspices of mainstream comics. So, in other words, this has never happened in comics canon. You've never had 4 Supermen from different universes, or 3 Supermen from different universes. Icon and Superman Prime are from the same universe. No, this has, you are 100% correct, Ronnie. No, this has never happened in comic book continuity. But man, I've been looking over this KO stuff, bruh. It's going down in the DC universe. I mean, they getting the presence involved. And for those of you that don't know who the presence is, the presence is the DC equivalent of the one above all in Marvel. Major ramifications if he coming out the woodwork to affect the outcome of this contest. 3, I think DCKO drop number 3 drops next week. So I hope that y'all are ready to dive in to some more DCKO, because when I get that book, I will definitely be reviewing it for y'all. I'll give you short versions, long versions. And speaking of DC Multiverse, there are a lot of figures. For something that's finite, they sure are cranking out a lot of action figures at a super high rate. Hello, Paul Martin. Glad you're here. Yeah, my mug says self-stirring mug. I mean, that's 3. Because I told y'all the story about this mug. I was going to give this mug as a present, but it was just, all I'm going to say, Asia. Only people in Asia feel like they need to do this. you need to put on a self-stirring mug, you need to label it as a self-stirring mug, as if one could not tell you need a sign on it like Sesame Street. Anyway, my guy Ronnie J has a question. Ronnie J, you got a question, dog. You got a question. All right, I love questions. Question. Milestone is now part of the DC universe. Why are the Milestone characters not included in DC KO? That's a very good question. Because somebody didn't get the memo. Because well, you know what? Let me recant that. I am incorrect. They are not. They are in separate worlds, but they interact with one another in a manner similar to the Justice League and the Justice Society. Does that make sense, Ronnie? Because now that I think about it, when worlds collide back in the 90s, when worlds collide, right? It's in the title of the story. Their worlds literally collided. So, yeah, Shadow Cabinet, Justice League, two different universes. Mr. President, what's good with you, sir? What's good with you, sir? What's good with you? Ain't no thing but a chicken wing, my friend. No, I was on McFarlane, right? Right. Okay. Those are dropping next month. Rocky Red Brigade. They look very, 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 very similar to the same body style as the Dark Stars. Let me see if I can pull up a picture of that. Of the Dark Star action figure. I probably can. I sure can. There it is right there. And we're going to pull it right on up. And y'all can tell me what's what. Because I'm like, this looks incredibly similar. Incredibly similar. Let's do this. We're going to do it like this, y'all. Because see, as an action figure collector, I prefer details over articulation. If that makes sense. I don't want it to be a statue, you know what I mean? But at the same time, you know, I don't need a here, let me get it. I don't need a extremely twisty, bendy type of figure. 22 points of articulation in an action figure are enough. And when we say points of articulation, we'll get back to the Rocket Reds and the Dark Stars in a second. When we say points of articulation, here, I'll just use the Golden Pharaoh here. Okay. A point of articulation is anywhere on this action figure where it bends, twists, turns. That's articulation. 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 Those are points of articulation. And when you got an action figure that got dang near 40 points of articulation, that better be Spider-Man. You know what I'm saying? That better be somebody who is known. That better be Nightcrawler. You know what I mean? That better be somebody known for curling up and turning and twisting into funny poses. You know what I mean? So as far as articulation goes, especially with like Rocket Reds, Rocket Reds don't need no whole bunch of articulation. But like I was saying, here's the comparison I was making. All right, that is Rocket Red. That is a dark star. You see what I'm saying? Look at it. That's the that's the same mold. That's the same maquette. That's the same whatever you want to say. They took the van braces off of it and repainted it. Boom. Okay. Dark Star comes with an extra head sculpt and grip hands. Rocket Red comes with rockets because it's got rockets in the back. And the numbers on the chest are interchangeable. So you got two extra ones that you could throw. So you can have at least 3 Rocket Reds off of one figure. Or you could just get 3 Rocket Reds and then you'd have 3 Rocket Reds. If you into Rocket Red like that. I liked Dimitri. I thought Dimitri was a cool Rocket Red. But then, you know what I'm saying? They just kind of moved him on, and the Rocket Reds just became a footnote in the DC world. Justice League International. I enjoyed Justice League International. I enjoyed Justice League International because of Guy Gardner. I enjoyed Justice League International because of Black Canary. I enjoyed Justice League International because of Martian Manhunter. And I definitely enjoyed Justice League International because of that guy right there. I mean, his childlike innocence about, you know, American culture and things like that. Hilarious. And we can't forget Blue Beetle and Booster. I probably need to get me a Ted Core Blue Beetle figure so I can start having like Booster Gold Blue Beetle moments with the action figures. Who knows? That could be fun. That could be fun. Wow. We haven't even been here 20 minutes and I haven't bagged on a movie yet. I feel like I need to bag on a movie because there is a movie that deserves bagging on. I guess James Cameron was right. We might not be getting a we might not be getting a 4 and 5 because if I remember correctly, I think I read somewhere that this movie costs 500 or 400 million. 400 million. That means if Avatar Fire and Ash cost 400 million to make, it's got to make $1 billion to break even. Right? Somebody help me out here. And the movie ain't even dropped yet. Okay, here we go. 3 hours and 17 minutes. I ain't got that kind of patience for Avatar, especially when the joint is predictable. You know what I mean? Let's see. Armageddon. In real time. I don't know if you can see that. 400 million. 400 million. 400 million. Avatar promotion budget. Okay, gotcha. Piece of cake, my guy. Promotion budget. Yikes. $2.5. So $4.2, 400.2. Do my math, decimal place. Million. Got to make $1 billion. It's got to make $1 billion. One day and it only made 19 million. That ain't a good sign. So if we can get through next week and those numbers ain't at least 700 million, James Cameron knew. He must have knew his movie was going to overperform. I mean, given all of the, you know what I'm saying? And it's and we're going to talk about that a little later too, about why. Why? COVID and streaming. COVID and streaming ruined the movie going experience. So now what are movie producers, writers, actors, what are all of these people supposed to do when everything is just underperforming? So when everything's underperforming, that don't have, let me take this shit down. When everything's underperforming, that has nothing to do with critics. Let me just lay that out, because I too many times I've heard people on freaking X talking about the movie underperformed because it got critic bombed. If critics were all it took to make a movie underperform, movies would have been underperforming like this a long ass time ago. So please don't throw that excuse out there that people criticizing a movie en masse is what makes it underperform. People have been criticizing movies en masse since the invention of the motion picture. So what are you saying that then it stands to reason that would be a very bad movie if it got critic bombed to pieces to the point where it don't perform. Y'all having fun? We having fun. Let's talk about what we've been talking about. Space Hot Tooth build. I could see that. Too much articulation makes it hard to stand the figures up. And over time, that happens whether you want it to or not with certain figures. Get you some of them first generation Marvel legends with the ball joints and see how much fun you have standing those up. they stand to the side. They look like they got their hand on their hip and they posing. And yeah, totally. I agrees. Come on, yo. Wow, I can't believe Avatar Fire and Ash is 3 hours long and some change long. I guess I'll wait for it to come out on Disney. See what I'm saying? See what I'm saying? So this right here is what makes movies underperform. Not people critic bombing it. Get it right. Critics can talk bad about a movie all day. If I like it, I like it. And there's nothing a critic can say to me to make me not like it. Violent Night with David Harbour that came out last year before. Terrible reviews. Terrible reviews. But that was a good movie to me. I enjoyed it. I added it to my Christmas movie list. And we'll be watching Violent Night for many Christmases to come. So I don't let no critic tell you what you should and shouldn't watch. Watch what you want to watch. And if you like it, you like it. And if you don't, you don't. It's people that like the Eternals. That's like, I don't see what was wrong with that movie. I enjoyed it thoroughly. It was good. There's people that say, oh no, Black Panther Wakanda Forever was good. I enjoyed it thoroughly. There are people who say that. So I'm not going to tell them, dude, you don't know what you talking about. And that's what people do all the time to other people's opinions. That's all it is an opinion. Get past being offended by the opinions of others. It is not the layman out here on the street. We talked about this last week in the Vibe. We are making movies underperform. We who have been called no influence having ass fools, we are making movies underperform. Sound like cap to me. Matt Damon broke down box office ages ago. Got to make 4 times the budget. That's why I said they got to make $1 billion. 400 million? Well, shit, more than that. It ain't going to happen. It can't happen. You went too hard on the budget, Jimmy. You went too hard on the budget. 400 million is too much in this day and age to be spending on a movie. You might have a net worth, sir, of 1.1 billion, but if you want that to increase, you got to start thinking about how you budget movies. And I know I ain't made no $1 billion movie, but I wouldn't spend 400 million on anything in this current economy. Not even a movie. If I had 400 billion to spend on a movie. Mario said, gotta watch Violent Night alone again. My wife ain't watching. She don't like by Viking Santa Claus too violent for her. I like that concept. It makes so much sense. Santa Claus is a Viking. Of course. And I always picture Mrs. Claus being like Lagatha on Vikings. I picture Miss Claus being a dog like that. Like, let's beat him down. Let's make him hurt. Lagatha was my girl in Vikings, man. I was like, I wanted the actress who played Lagatha to play Carol Danvers. I think the actress that played her would have made a great Carol Danvers. But what do I know? Yeah, you know what I mean? Ain't nobody checking for what I think of these things. I would also like to present for deep and engaging conversation something I thought about the other day when I seen it on social media. And what I saw was this. And I have to say, it moved me, it stirred me, and I was like, that's going to be a good conversation. Does it? Does making a character overpowered ruin the writing? Rock with me, nation. Talk to me. And you see who's in the picture, right? He can outrun Sonic. He can outrun Supersonic. He can outrun pretty much any speedster in comics. So the question becomes, for the fastest man in the universe, who is his antagonist? This is why you have a Reverse Flash. Because think about it. In and of itself, super speed is kind of OP. If you are a character with super speed on the level of a Flash, in random encounters, you are taking mugs down like 90% of the time. There's a workaround. There's a way to deal with everybody in some way, shape, or form with super speed. Vibration, blitzing, mass impact punches, you know what I'm saying? Intangibility. You know what I mean? So there's a whole bunch of, hey, that's not fair type powers within the main super speed power. So a speedster, man, my voice went up high. So a speedster is already a loaded deck, depending on how, if you that level fast, you know what I'm saying? That's already a loaded deck. So if I'm the fastest being in the universe, who's putting one over on me? That's up to the writer. I get it. But by and large, ain't a lot of people getting one over on a speedster of Wally's level. Not a whole lot at all. So this also made me think about our friend Mr. Iodelli. When he took an Omega level mutant and basically made them a god. And the argument is, we don't have enough OP black characters. Okay, so what happens when we start getting a plethora of OP black characters, but can't put them in situations that are formidable to their level of power? Case in point, Crisis on Infinite Earths. Superman had to be dumbed down. Now he done, and after all that time, he done got back up to a level where he's just redonkulous again. But a lot of that in just Superman main canon. We ain't talking about 1 million. We ain't talking about All-Star Superman. We talking about plain old Action Comics every month, Superman every month, Superman. New 52. New 52, he kind of, we dumbed him down a little bit. You know what I'm saying? That reboot by John Byrne in '86 after the crisis, we dumbed him down a little bit. We made him a little less powerful than the Man of Steel is supposed to be. And that's okay because it gave him a challenge and there was more stories to be written. Now, I don't think kryptonite even bothers him anymore. What do they say? How strong is Superman? He's as strong as he needs to be. Pulling a chain of planets strong? Sneezing, and wiping out entire galaxies? Powerful? Who's going up against that? Darkseid? See what I'm getting at? In my mind, I could be wrong, but the whole idea behind a hero is to give him or her a formidable trial to overcome. If I'm the fastest mofo in the universe, if I'm strong on top of strong on top of strong, if I'm powerful on top of powerful on top of powerful, who am I square up with? I'm knocking them all out. I'm bumping them all off. I'm electrocuting them. I'm mass energy inertia punching them to Mars. What? You see what I'm getting? Excuse me. See, I'm getting spit in my throat. You see what I'm getting at? It's cool to have a powerful hero, a powerful character. Now, if a character has to amp their powers to meet the challenge, it shouldn't be a permanent amp. Does that make sense? I mean, he shouldn't be ungodly fast all the time. Storm shouldn't be able to beat up half the Marvel Universe. Where's the challenge? Or do we just want her to be one of them characters that sit back in the back until you got to go get somebody to just rail and F everybody up on a high level? Then that only relegates her to showing up conditionally. You see what I'm saying? When you got characters that, like, weather manipulation is already over the top AF. All the things you can do with just weather manipulation. Oh, but she's still physically vulnerable. Let's give her some vibranium armor. Okay. But you are potentially writing yourself into a corner. Because after he beats every speedster, every cosmic threat, after she beats all the gods into the earth or out of existence, what next? Even when Spawn canonically defeated God and Satan, he went back to his previous power levels, which were already pretty formidable. So future Spawn stories do not result in, oh, all you got to do is power up and blow that person out of existence. That could very well happen, but damn, what's going to happen next month after he blows everybody out of existence? You see what I'm getting at? You can't be that powerful. You can't be 6-year-old powerful. And what I mean by 6-year-old powerful is when we were kids and you know, we were playing and, oh, which superhero you want to be? Oh, I want to be the $6 million man. Oh, I'm going to be Superman. Superman can see through $6 million man, sees his robot and pull his arm off and kick him to the moon. Why do you have to be Superman? Why can't you be Aquaman or somebody? But see, back then, Aquaman didn't get no love. He was pretty formidable back in the day, but motherfucker was just like communicates with fish and throws water balls. Now look at Arthur. He's a whole problem for any and everybody. And he rocking the trident of Poseidon. Forget about it. Now, as the king of the 7 seas, he's powerful, but he ain't OP. I mean, he's getting there, but he's not OP. Aquaman can still, matter of fact, in this month's DCKO, Aquaman versus Hawkman. That's actually a better fight than you might imagine. So I'm thinking what I might do, I might go and grab a couple of them DCKO fights just to, you know, have them and share them with y'all so you can see in canon what people can do to each other. All right, what we talk about over here. Okay. Does making a character overpowered ruin the writing? Anansi says, not as long as you make the characters villains just as overpowered, or can come up with interesting plots where an overpowered character is still facing challenges that can't easily be overcome. I personally, Anansi, would like to know what those are. What are those challenges that an overpowered character can still face that can't be easily overcome? Because you already mentioned other overpowered characters. What is there besides other overpowered characters? Babysitting? There is no cause for OP, I guess, is what I'm getting at. And if you are, in fact, enjoying this discourse, comment, like, subscribe, and share to this page right here. We building something over here. And it's going to be beautiful. And if you are not here to experience it, you're going to be mad. So, basically, wait a minute. Y'all had some more comments. Jay Figures. Jay, what's up, Jay? What's happening, dog? What's happening? Jay said they didn't let the Flash use his powers in the CW, John, way too many times. They still got me for 2 seasons. Well, you know who wrote the Flash TV show, right? Good writing. Blue Marvel is OP but underrated. Not by me, but he doesn't get the respect somebody of his level of power and functioning and intellect deserves. He's like a also ran. You know what I'm saying? Moon Girl, Lunella Lafayette gets more respect than he does, it seemed like. Jay said, I was the thing as a kid. Thing ring. Do your thing. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Cody Rhodes is telling the hero's journey the right way. He isn't a wrestling god, and he wins by using wits and abilities as opposed to a Brock Lesnar who was OP. Huh. Huh. Okay. That makes sense. It makes complete sense. And that's what I feel like a balanced character should be. I mean, you should still be strong enough, skilled enough, powerful enough to triumph over adversity, but not so powerful where your opposition is no longer adversity. Isn't that the whole purpose of reading a comic book or manga, to see your favorite character overcome adversity? What's it like when he just whooping everybody's butt up and down? That's why I like Superman, but I've never been crazy about Superman, especially the Golden Age Superman. I just like put that character in the trash. Y'all have made him way too damn powerful. So when they nerfed him, I really, 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 really enjoyed the John Byrne Superman, Man of Steel, Superman, Action Comics. I enjoyed that, 80s, the late 80s to like the 90s, up until the death of Superman storyline. He was powerful enough, but he wasn't OP. OP is not something a hero should be. Cody Rhodes. Wow, I haven't watched WWE in so long. I don't even know where to watch it these days. Where do I watch it? Off top, Netflix got everything. And Netflix got WWE. Yeah, Grand Madam, you are probably an OG like me, and you remember his daddy, Dusty Rhodes. Look just like him too. Look just like his daddy. Yeah. Netflix and Peacock. Yeah, man, they show NFL football games on Netflix at certain times, Grand Madam. Matter of fact, the Cowboys are playing on Christmas. The Lions are playing on Christmas. And both games are going to be on Netflix. Yeah. Storytelling, actual storytelling. Yeah, I mean, you should tell a story. You should strive to tell a story. You should always strive to tell a story. The character's well-being should not take precedence over the story. Why? Because if you don't have a story, it don't matter who the hell the character is. If Superman had defeated Imperiex in one issue, how exciting would that storyline have been? If Ben Grimm could knock out Galactus with one punch, or Johnny Storm could burn him, we got to find another way to beat him. Physical force isn't working, regardless of what people say about that Fantastic Four movie. Susan Richards is not pushing Galactus nowhere if he don't want to go. Got to call cap on that. She might be the most powerful member of the Fantastic Four, but she ain't the most powerful being. And she ain't powerful enough to push Galactus into a hole. Not by her damn self. And I ain't saying that because she's a woman. I'm saying that because she's a human. A human bombarded with cosmic rays is not baiting Galactus or even pressing him hard. You're going to need at least, I don't know, 4 cosmic powered human beings, and even 4 of them ain't giving him a hard time. So, yes, we want a challenge. And it's better for the villain to be OP because we want to see you overcome something OP. If you can come or very powerful. I won't say overpowered because there's a lot of heroes got overpowered villains, and it's just like y'all felt sorry for the X-Men every time they fought the Juggernaut because it's like, what y'all doing to him? Y'all got one strategy. If I know you coming from and Kane got hip to it. If I know y'all coming for my helmet, okay, just because I'm big don't mean I'm stupid. I'm going to make me a skull cap out of the same material as my helmet. So when y'all yank my helmet off, you still ain't going to be able to get no psychic energy in my brain and knock me out. Now what y'all going to do? That's good writing. Don't make it obvious. Don't make it easy. Why are you going to do that? We want you to overcome some stuff. So when you do go and take a vacation, it's a well-deserved one. You had to save the entire planet. That takes a little bit of energy out of a mug. If your villains are OP too, OP heroes can work. See original 4 Defenders and the Blackety Black Ultimates team. Well, kinda. The Defenders weren't. I don't feel like the Defenders were OP. I mean, at one point, the Avengers World, Thor, Hyperion, the Hulk, Captain Universe, and a Smasher all on one team. Oh, excuse me, and Captain Marvel. See what had to happen? They had to end that damn universe. Y'all too powerful. Yeah. You know, y'all got to come, or like you said, got to come up with ex nihilos. You know what I mean? That's giving heroes that powerful problems. So if you but that would mean every crisis they face has got to be OP. I mean, let you use the Defenders as an example. Let's go back and look at the first couple of villains that the Defenders faced. The first couple of villains the Defenders faced were all, if not most, magical in origin. Either they themselves were sorcerers or the source of their powers was magic. Chandu, Zemnu, what's that other cat's name? Yandroth, the Undying Ones, all magic-based characters. Now, fighting a fleet of Kree ships, that ain't no problem for the Silver Surfer. But magic-based stuff slows them down a little bit. You see what I'm saying? So, they weren't. I wouldn't call the original Defenders OP, but they were definitely powerful as hell. So Hulk, Namor, Silver Surfer, and Doctor Strange, you had to use magic. You there was no other choice. Matter of fact, I've been going over the Avengers Defenders War, and I will be dropping some more videos on that soon. Hulk got one-shotted by a giant gnome. I'm gonna say that again. The Hulk, powerful Hulk, got one-shotted by a giant gnome. The challenges ramp up to match the heroes, but still, you had times where the defenders went up against the headmen. Pause. The sons of the serpent. The sons of the serpent? The sons of the serpent. That's a hate group in comics. You had the likes of the Hulk, Valkyrie, Doctor Strange, Damon Hellstrom, Luke Cage, Yellow Jacket, Daredevil. That's a pretty tough lineup. And they were getting dealt with tech. The Sons of Serpent are just regular guys, normal guys, no powers. They just got really snazzy looking snake suits and tech. That wasn't OP. But by that time, the Silver Surfer and Namor had left the Defenders. So you had a different lineup. Because like the lineup that we're talking about in the Defenders that was OP was only like for like the first 10, 15 issues maybe. And then after that, you didn't get that lineup anymore. Well, you got it off and on. But they were facing off against not so OP characters. Because I remember that entire run. Because the Defenders were the shiznit in the 70s because of the Avengers Defenders War. That just kind of springboarded them into popularity. And then you had Ibushima drawing them. So I'm with you and get what you're saying, but One Punch Man make that OP-ish work. Yeah, he makes it work, Jay, because everybody knows, and if they don't know, they should know, One Punch Man is a gag. One Punch Man is a in the face of anime. Now, if they was really trying and came up with something like One Punch Man, then I'd be like, okay, why ain't that working? But it works because we're in on the joke, I think. Not so much because he's OP, but because we are in on the joke. Because this show a joke. Shaper of Worlds, Nebulon. By the time they faced Nebulon, Silver Surfer, and Namor were gone, like I said. So they weren't OP. And Nebulon, I wouldn't necessarily say is OP. He's formidable, but I wouldn't say OP. Shaper of Worlds, yeah, okay, to a certain extent, but Shaper of Worlds he need a brain to tap into so that he can make all of his wonderful things. Shaper of Worlds, he's just a scroll cosmic cube. So I guess for the most part, we are in agreement that OP characters can work in OP settings, but you don't want to have too many OP settings because that will ruin the, what's the word I'm looking for? The synergy. The synergy of what you're trying to achieve between hero and villain. Okay? So I do think we're good on OP. Let's look at some comics. I finally got my comics, y'all, and I am happy as a clam. The LCS finally came through and got my comics. Well, got their comics because they didn't have no. I went in there like 2 weeks straight. It felt like I went in there more than I should have, but I went in there before the comics dropped or before they were scheduled to drop. And they were like, yeah, we're supposed to be receiving blah, 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 blah. So I came in that next Wednesday. Nothing. Came in that Thursday. Nothing. Came in that Saturday. Nothing. Came in just this past Monday. Nothing. So I called on Tuesday. And they're like, well, we can't disclose that information until we actually get the books in the store. Then that means y'all ain't got the books. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, all right. Shouts out to my peoples over at Bosco's Comics and Cards over on Spenard and downtown Anchorage, Alaska. Well, not downtown Anchorage, downtown Spenard. Anyway, we're gonna go over these titles. And I'm going to give you a brief synopsis and my feelings about each. But I guess that's what a comic book review would be like. Anyway. Youngblood. Number 2. Hang on a second. Somebody wants to talk about OP again. And of course, an egregious example of OP was the Avengers lineup against attack the Hydra base, the beginning of Age of Ultron. That mission didn't need Thor, Hulk, or Iron Man. Gotcha. On to the comics, though. We got Youngblood number 2 by your man, Rob Liefeld. As you can see, Supreme is in the building. Kid Supreme, as well as Suprema. That's the lady version of Supreme. And they are fighting a villain known as Xerxes. And apparently Xerxes and Supreme are familiar with one another. Now, at some point in this comic, they fight. And Xerxes bites Supreme and says, I get stronger by drinking your blood. But he's not a vampire. Also, too, there is mention, I'm going to drop a name for all my Image folks and see how y'all feel about it. This book mentions Battlestone. Do we remember Battlestone? Brigade. Now Brigade is getting ready to get involved. So we're going to see Brigade next month. I feel like Rob Liefeld is doing what Joe Illidge and them did not too long ago with Shadow Cabinet. He's giving you little bits and remember that dude in Image? And remember that dude in Image? And remember that dude in Image? Hey, look at this. We got an Image reunion. Did Liefeld get better at anatomy? Well, I know that first issue, the anatomy was a little better. You tell me. How's that anatomy looking? Better? Worse? Yes? No? Maybe? His art ain't great, but it ain't terrible like it used to be. Like, I mean, my man just couldn't draw proportions for shit. And it was embarrassing. But I mean, he was getting money. He was getting paid. They was paying. Rob Liefeld was a superstar with his non-drawn self. There we go, right there. Xerxes biting Supreme. Say, your blood fuels me. And he's saying things like, come, let us embrace. You don't tell no man, come, let us embrace. You don't tell no man, come, let us embrace. I don't care what the situation is. You don't embrace another man, especially when you're talking about fighting it. Come, let us embrace. He been on a space station like he always been. He been on a space station, dog. Matter of fact, that's just one book. We got about 7 more to go. Thank you. Yeah, I will say he's got a little bit better. It ain't great. I mean, it's still Rob Liefeld, but it's symmetrical. Up next, Blue Falcon and Dynamite. Bruh. When we last left Blue Falcon, he was laid up in the hospital, and Dr. Maya and Violet Valentine, aka Beast Woman, got him out the hospital. But Beast Woman took his flying belt because she's going to sell it. You know what Blue Falcon did? Made 2 more. What? He made 2 more. He made one for him, and he made one for Dynamite. And Dynamite can track the other belt. Suffice to say, Beast Woman knew that too. And they were expecting him. Rob doing action figures, so he got to remind us off those guys. You know, while I'm thinking about it, there are a lot of Image characters that don't have action figures that could probably use action figures. And more than likely, if they did do Youngblood or any of those characters, they would probably be through McFarlane's company. Actually, that will probably be a little better because you probably need that detail. That McFarlane gives that Marvel Legends or NECA or somebody like that don't really worry about. No shade at either one of them, but I just feel like the detail in DC Multiverse figures is of a higher quality, or at least it seems that way to me. Like I said, I don't need a crap ton of articulation because I'm not playing with them. You know what I'm saying? I don't need them to bend and twist and do all of that. I'm posing them at the most. You know what I'm saying? On to, we got a David Pepos double play. Yeah, David Pepos even told me that himself today on X. Anyway, I like the fact that Dave Pepos ain't this highfalutin, high and mighty artist that don't feel like he needs to respond to stuff about his books. He responds to just about everything you say about his books, and that shows me that David Pepos appreciates people reading his comics. If you don't say nothing about me reading your comic, and I know I read your comic, and you don't say nothing about me reading your comic, I mean, that's probably not bad, but I'm still going to feel some kind of way about it. Anyway, Space Ghost, David Pepos, Jonathan Lau, and no, you are not seeing things on the cover of this magazine. Yes, Space Ghost is a Space Ghost vampire. Looky now, we getting interested. Yeah, when Space Ghost gets bit, he immediately gives his power bands to Jan and Jace and say, go, get out of here. You know what I'm saying? And sure enough, Space Ghost turned into a vampire and started trying to bite him. And they stuck on it's almost kind of like a horror movie kind of scenario. Jan and Jason Blip are running because everybody on this space station that got turned into vampires. And so they trying to figure out a way, how can we turn them back? Or how can we get the hell out of here so they don't bite us too? And they never tell you who the vampire dude is. You see him, but they never tell you who he is. And they found a very unique way of dealing with the vampire. Other than that, I just want to say shouts out again to David Pepos for watching some Space Ghosts before he wrote these comics. Because Dave not only gets the main characters from Space Ghost, like your Brax and your Metaluses and your Creature Kings and your Zorax, he also gets the Parkos and the Tansits and the Eclipse Women and the Antimatter Man, all of them little side characters that was in the Space Ghost TV show and on Space Stars. Space Spectre, anyone? By the way, Dave, I like what you did with Space Spectre. Nice twist there. But a lot of people, y'all be hating on this comic. Why y'all hating on Space Ghost? You need to pick this book. Pick it up. Pick the damn book up and read it. You ain't got to take my word for it. Read your damn self. Okay. David Pepos number 2. Boom. Here he comes. Here comes B-Racer. He's a demon on wheels. So we are concluding the storyline of the Great Alpine Race, Speed Racer and Racer X against Kim Jugger. That name, bro. you ain't never gonna get a boring name out of a Speed Racer comic book. They all got these active up and Penelope pit stop sounding ass names. Kim Jugger and the car acrobatic team, and they are doing everything in their power to take Speed down. And Racer X as a bonus. Speed Racer is driving the Mach 5 with no brakes. Because as you recall, the car acrobatic team sabotaged the Mach 5 and dropped acid on the brake lines last issue. We've seen Speed Racer do this in the cartoon. Again, shouts out to you, Mr. Pepos and David Tinto on the art. Issue number 5 is as banging as I thought it was going to be. And my guy Racer X, got some issues, but it's okay. Because Racer X is Racer X. A lot of things happen in this comic. This is a turning point comic, as Lord I like to call it. All of the events from the first 4 issues kind of culminate in issue 5. And some things in this storyline get tied off and other things are opened up, which is what good storytelling is all about. Again, salute and shouts out to you, Dave. I appreciate your insight on the Speed Racer universe. When am I getting a mammoth car? I saw Cruncher Block in an earlier issue. So we know Cruncher Block exists, and we know Cruncher Block is the guy behind the mammoth car. So obviously there is a guy behind Cruncher Block, so he can be behind the mammoth car. When we gonna get us some mammoth car, dog? I'm ready for some mammoth car. Oh, and I peeped next issue of Speed Racer. Here's a nice name drop for my folks that know they Speed Racer. Next issue of Speed Racer, GRX. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. Edutainment is what I do. I got y'all. Like I said, speaking of Racer X, boom. That's a badass cover. What are those, Desert Eagles? Damn, Rex. Who you popping in the rain? So, as I've told y'all before, Racer X and Speed Racer comics are directly linked. What's going on in Racer X's comic is also is kind of it's the same thing that's going on in Speed Racer, but you get a different vantage point. So Speed Racer is unaware that old girl was trying to hit him with a bazooka, calling herself trying to protect him. But old girl leaves in Racer X's comic book, and Racer X continues on in the race with Speed. And he helps Speed to like break his car when he's going around curves and things like that. Keeps him from going off cliffs and whatnot. But car acrobatic team ain't playing. See what I'm saying? They like shoot him. But you know what? We know that ain't no big deal for Speed Racing. Isn't the Mach 5 bulletproof or bullet resistant? I know it's bullet resistant at the very least. Um, got one more. Got one more from Mad Cave. The Phantom #3 by Ray Fox and Russell Olsen. Fox. Ray Fox. Ray Fawkes. Ray Fox. I can get away with that. Okay, this is The Phantom, issue #3 by Ray Fox and, and Russell Olsen. Continuing the story from issue 2, the Phantom's power, if you want to call it that, is his enemy's belief in the fact that he's a supernatural being. Not quite unlike another character who he inspired. Edutainment is what I do. Now, before you say, how is the Phantom able to move around stealthily in a purple suit? Well, I'll tell you. If you know anything about the light spectrum, you would know that it is 100% child's play to walk around in a jungle in purple. If a tiger can walk around in a jungle and be orange and black striped and not be seen until he jumps on your ass and starts eating you, why wouldn't a guy in a purple suit? Oh, Jay, you signing off, dog. All right, Jay, appreciate you pulling up. We will see you tomorrow night. Please make sure you pull up for the vibe, my brother. Peace. But yeah, the Sing pirates, who are the mortal enemies of the Phantoms, he's updated. And the Phantom's friend gets into the action. It's kind of interesting. It's kind of fun to watch. But I think I might keep rocking with the Phantom at least until this storyline wraps, depending on what the conclusion is like. Phantom is an acquired taste, and I hope there's more than one person out there that appreciates the Phantom. And of course, yep, I got it. This and Ultimate Black Panther are the only Marvels I bought. So that's where I'm at, y'all. I practice what I preach, y'all. I'm not coming back to pick up no Marvel story to get likes and subs. I meant what I said, and I said what I meant. Okay, if you can't do more for this character than just what you're doing, then stop doing shit. You know what I mean? Let somebody else do it. Get an IP up. Let somebody who know how to handle it. Okay, I'm not gonna go on a rant. Wait a minute, it's Thursday. I can go on a rant if I want to. Black Panther, Intergalactic. I know many Black Panther fans out in this mug. I know I ain't got to explain this book to y'all. Bottom line, there is an appearance by Kazar and Zabu. You saw I did air quotations, but that's all. That's all I'm gonna give you right now. But bottom line, great story. But I'm gonna be honest with y'all. I don't like the art. The cover art, fine. I like the cover. The cover's great. Mwah. No issues with the cover. It's just and you can't go wrong with a David Curiel cover. So that no problems there. It's just the inside. I can't say I really care for Stefano Nessi's art. I don't know. Maybe it'll get better. Maybe I should focus on the story and not so much on the art. But I got to be able to focus on the art. The art and the story got to be good, or I can't do nothing with it. You know what I mean? I'll try though. And I got this version cover of Black Panther number 23 because I have a variant. Sometimes I'll collect variants. It depends on what comic it is. Sometimes I'll grab a variant. Sometimes I won't. But I make sure to get the main cover, Black Panther, Ultimate Black Panther. You miss Charlton comics. Well, you can always go and collect the old ones. Is it better than the art in the Night Thrasher mini? You tell me. Is it? Now go back and look at your Night Thrasher comment and you tell me what you think. Anyway, this is, I like saying this word. This is the penultimate issue of the series. I don't know if y'all knew. Y'all probably did if you rock with Theo. Issue number 24 will be the final issue of Ultimate Black Panther. Let me say, from a personal standpoint, Carlos Naito, Stefano Caselli, and of course, Brian Edward Hill, thank you for bringing us this. A lot of people bitched and complained about it. A lot of people were like, oh, he's not as good as a 616 T'Challa. He ain't supposed to. Onion head. He just became T'Challa. I mean, just became the Black Panther. So were you expecting him to just be a genius and slick and strategic? And he's trained to a certain degree. He's heart-shaped herb enhanced. He's enhanced with a couple of other things. He got the best and the best on him now. But what was it? I don't know what it is. A lot of people, and I can see why people be crashing out and getting mad. You know what I'm saying? Because people's expectations be freaking unreasonable. You know what I'm saying? You want Star Panther and Black Panther and Super Panther and Cold Tiger all rolled up into one being and just blam! Give it to me. Give it to me. Punch everybody. Kick them all in the face. Every issue. Bruh, can you make time for the story and let the story unfold and be happy with that you got a good writer that's writing some stuff you want to see? You know what I'm saying? Now, what you going to be saying when this shit's over? Then what are you going to be saying? They don't never give us no T'Challa. I wouldn't give you none either if every time I did, you bitched about it. Stop bitching. Enjoy what you have. And I'm not saying settle. There's a difference. There's a difference between saying, oh, this is great. I guess this is all we're going to get. I have to enjoy it. That's what mheroes at marvel.com OK Print is for. If you ain't getting what you want, tell them you ain't getting what you want. Stop bitching. Stop being like these other idiots and morons and fool ass punks on X that's always crying and complaining about something. You ain't never going to be happy if all you do is cry and complain about some stuff. You don't like how it is, do something to change it. Right? Equal? Yeah, I go with that, Paul. Yeah, the arts, yeah. Yeah. Yeah, way too much crying. Was crying over the Hill run, crying over the Ewing run. Now you had a reason to cry with that Ridley run, but you getting Black Panther. You can take the great story with decent art, or the great story with meh art. You got choices. I can remember a time when you didn't. The best you could hope for was to see a 4-issue Black Panther miniseries, or see him pop up in the pages of Daredevil or Captain America or Defenders. You didn't know when he was going to show up. And back then, you had to write a letter with a pencil or a pen and put a stamp on that joint and send it and wait. You can get on your computer right now, mheroesmarvel.com, send. You don't like it? Tell somebody. You don't like what's going on. It's not going to change if you sit around bitching about it all day. Gandhi said, be the change you want to see. Change it. You see what happened with the Eve Ewing run? We started bombing and banging on them so hard in the letters, they didn't have no choice but to respond. You feel me? Because then it would have been obvious that you was ignoring mugs. Let your voice be heard. If you don't like what's going on, say something. It's not going to get better if all you're doing is sitting around crying, complaining, bitching. You know what I'm saying? I know last week I said them people that say, well, if you don't like what's going on with it, if you're not doing something, then shut up. No, I'm not saying that. I'm saying everybody who always has a super critical as comment about what comes up as far as content for the character of Black Panther. We're always in a state of perpetual dissatisfaction. When are we ever like, I'm happy, I'm overjoyed with what's going on? When Jonathan Hickman is doing it. When Jonathan Hickman's on chores, we are confident. When Al Ewing is on chores, we ain't sweating it. When Jason Aaron is on chores, we ain't sweating it. But when Victor Lavalle is on chores, we like, Don't like it? Gotta say so. I don't know what you do and don't like if you don't tell me. That was a light bulb moment. And my lights came on in the back. Yeah, that part, Kamoyo. Put some skin in the game, or STFU. That's what I'm saying. Okay, we can sit around and moan and piss and cry until the cows come home. That is going to change absolutely zero. That is going to move the meter not at F and all. If you can't be encouraged, inspired, or forced to say something, then why complain? You want to see it change. Keep saying you want to see it change. Y'all don't see the little subtle changes? Some of them not so subtle. All because we made our voices heard. We let them know that back there is not a throwaway character. And don't you dare treat him like a throwaway character. They keep doing it though. So, what? Why? I know. That's why. I mean, and when I think about it in retrospect, on one side, the thought of people like Muriel Ayodele and amping Storm up like he did, I get it. There ain't enough of them. There ain't enough OP black characters out there. But let's just have an OP black character. Why take characters and that may not necessarily benefit from being OP? Because period. it negative attention is still attention. People talking about you mean they paying attention to you. People trying to shadow ban you means they're paying attention to you. People canceling your notifications means they're paying attention to the person whose notifications they are canceling. You don't have to say a whole bunch. You just have to say enough. Consistent, faithful, unwavering, steady. Get up off your ASS and make it HAPPEN. That's where we at with it. Right? Right? How many comic books you see though? How many comic books? How many? Oh, let me be specific. How many new comics? You see Superman merch. You see Batman merch. You see Spider-Man merch. But you also see their comic books. How come we don't see Black Panther comic books all over? These two right here. This it. This the only thing new in Avengers, but that's not that book doesn't have his name on the cover. You see what I'm saying? I'm talking about books that got his name on the cover. That's it. Them two. Why do you think that is? Why do you think no matter what happens, we can't get a Black Panther ongoing? That's strange to me. He ain't been around 80 years. He ain't been around 90 years, but he been around 60. And there's characters that have been around for less time than him that have had comics for longer than him. Why? We've proven he's not a boring character. We've proven he has a background. We've proven he has supporting characters. We've proven he has a rogues gallery. So why? Why would you make 3 movies about a character that doesn't even have a monthly? Hell, Ant-Man got 4 movies. I don't get it. I don't get it. There was the Ant-Man where he fought Yellow Jacket. There was the Ant-Man where he fought what's her name? Ghost. Kang. You that's a jump. You know what I mean? That's a jump from that to Kang. Bruh. I just gotta look this up. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, there were only 3. I thought there were 4. There are only 3. Yeah, Ant-Man and the Wasp, Ant-Man and the Wasp Quantumania. Okay. Still, that's a 3-story arc for a character that didn't really need one. Why? Ant-Man's been around longer, but Ant-Man's been mediocre longer. You had to make Ant-Man a whole nother person before people really started standing up and taking notice. Thoughts, everyone? Rock with me, nation. Sound off. Paul Martin said they made an Eternals movie and they never even they made an Eternals movie and they never were money makers in the comics. I stopped trying to figure out Marvel decades ago. I was loyal but skeptical for years. Well, see, and that's the thing. They put so much effort, energy, time, and money into the most mediocre C-list shit you could possibly imagine. And then wonder why they bleeding money like somebody stabbed in a horror movie. You banking your studio on these so-so projects. Just like Paul said, when was Eternals a banger? And when I say banger, I mean everybody was buying it. Never. You know, they all came out around the same time. Omega the Unknown, the Eternals, and Nova. I remember all three of them comic books came out the same year. That next year, only one of them was still going. Omega ran for 10 issues. Done. Eternals, a little more, a little bit. I think maybe like, they didn't make it to 20. You know what? How many issues of the 1976 Eternals comic book run from Marvel Comics were there? $19 issue of the Eternals. Nova ran for 25. There you go. Paul Martin said, you should have heard the F-bombs I spewed when I was about 14 or 15 and they killed off Marvel. But to quote Denny Green, I let them off the hook. They were exactly who we thought they were. Show was, T'Challa is black. Yes, he is, and that explains a lot. It explains a whole lot. So, yeah, I was just thinking about, funny you should mention that. Just thinking about him the other day. That's my, as you can tell from the legs, that's the old school Marvel. But I also have one that don't have the ball joint. So that's why I just threw this one up here for issues and giggles. But yeah, y'all. Not tomorrow, but next week. I believe our buddy Byron will be back to join us on the vibe, and we're going to chop it up, and we're going to chit chat, and we're going to see what our man has been up to since last we saw him. I see him all the time. He does videos nonstop. But I mean, we want to find out what he's been up to cinematically. You know what I'm saying? The ladies love Byron. So if there's any ladies that enjoy seeing Byron, Byron will be here next week for y'all to slave her over. I knew somebody was gonna ask that. Did I do a video on the Mahomes injury? No, I did not do a video on the Mahomes injury, but I did do a video on the Chiefs season ending. And I kind of want to recant something I said in the video. I said they probably would lose the rest of their games, but they might actually win 2 out of 3. Because the rest of our schedule is the Titans, the Broncos on Christmas, and the Raiders. So that would make it what, 8-9 record. I would rather, and I'm gonna be honest, I'd rather lose out. I'd rather lose for the rest of the season. I would tank those 2 games that we could win. I want a better position in the draft. If we're gonna lose big shit. You know what I'm saying? Don't try to, no, we're gonna and a lot of people are like the Titans, the Raiders, those should be gimme games. But what you're missing, Patrick Mahomes. And if you've been paying attention, and even if you haven't been paying attention, I'll tell you, he was the only bright spot on the squad this year. He was the only one balling out. The quarterback? Nobody else on the team balling out? I mean, that ain't his fault, but Matt Nagy needs to go, period. And I don't really need to elaborate too much on that. He can't come up with new offensive schemes that apparently the entire NFL have figured out. So how in the hell are you going to be an offensive coordinator when you can't coordinate jack shit? Muzz is intercepting. Muzz is sacking. Muzz is 1, 2, 3 and outing us. They got film, but they also know our offensive coordinator is trash. I heard someone say the timeline for number 15 to return is next October. Y'all okay with Minshew as stopgap or look elsewhere? Not Russ. When you say Russ, who you talking about? I know it's a fanciful wish and highly unlikely. What about Shador? Stefanski has made it abundantly clear that he don't want him there. So give him his wish. Trade him to us. We'll use him. Hell to the no. Ain't no effing way in the universe. No, that ship has sailed. That cat's way past done. He is rotisserie chicken turning and burning. Nah, ain't nobody. Russell Wilson might still be good in the NFL, but not with us. No, hell no, not with us. You know what I'm saying? No, we ain't. Nah. No. Hell no. I would rather get anybody is preferable. Get Carson Wentz back. That's how much faith I don't have in Gardner Minshew. Because if they start in Gardner Minshew, because Andy Reid done said he got confidence in Gardner Minshew, if that's who you starting for the 2026 season, you can mark down L's already. That man was in the game for 3 plays and threw a pick. Stop trying to force those type of passes when you ain't that type of quarterback. You got to be a special kind of journeyman quarterback to get the job done. You don't play for more than 3 teams, man. I don't know. Unless your name is Aaron Rodgers or something like that. Or Brett Favre. Anywho, though. Yeah, y'all. Y'all gonna be pulling up for the Friday Vibe tomorrow night. I got some things planned. I'm at the oh my goodness. I'm gonna have to sit down and collab with my man Theo. And We're gonna make some things happen. Tomorrow night's tonight. We gonna have some festivities for you. But I will be getting some comic reviews ready for you. As a matter of fact, I'm ready to do Ultimate Black Panther review. So I might put that up tonight. Not probably tomorrow. I'll put it up tomorrow to go with the vibe. But y'all keep your ears and your eyes peeled, because we will be coming at you tomorrow evening, same real time, same real channel. We will be banging it out, but we'll be fine. That's it for now, y'all. But Fred and I will be coming at you tomorrow night with more fun and games. And until then, y'all be good. Be good to each other. I'm sideways.